Canvas, Student Tutorial 4, Modules and Assignments. Modules are how courses are organized. They're grouped by weeks, units, or by goals. And where you find that content are in the modules. You click through modules to get access to those readings, to those goals, assignments, and other required work. Now, assignments are a quick link to work requiring submission or grading. This includes homework, quizzes, essays, pre-tests, anything that has a grade. The lessons that teach you how to do these assignments are what you find in the modules. So modules enable you to do the assignments. Now, how do the modules look? Is the whole course there or just 1 week's work? How do you submit your assignments? Well, before we start, first, Canvas courses are always organized in modules? Well, not necessarily. They're not always in modules. That's the most common form. If your class is face-to-face or hybrid, or just uses Canvas for storing documents, it might use pages or files instead to hold those. Let's see this exception first. If your course uses pages or files instead of modules, you'll find on the navigation both pages, and pages will have links to it, very similar to a module except they're organized in pages. Quick links that allow you to get access to specific documents. For example, here is a checklist. It is a document. You did not need modules because there are no lessons, and there it is. Now, files is basically the same thing. It just organizes into a directory. A directory can hold several files. It depends on how the teacher organizes it. Once you click on modules, there's a standard way the course is organized. Typically, the first module is a start here or a readme. It doesn't have to be there, but most instructors use that as a way to locate into one section all the basics. What books you need, rubric, some checklists, some basics that apply to the course as a startup. If you click on a handout, basically it pops up in Canvas. And this is one of the most useful things in that it will translate any document into a Canvas readable form. So if it's in Word and you don't have Word, you can still use it. If it's in RTF, you can still use it. And basically, as you see here, it will open within Canvas and allow you to read it and peruse it and cut and paste from it. This is the basics of anything contained as a handout within modules or some other form. You can also save as so that you have a local copy. This is great if you want to print out or just to have a copy if you're not internet connected that you can peruse in your mobile form or something else. So that's one type of thing you'll find in a module. As you can see now, you've got organization by weeks. Organization by weeks basically allows you to break down a course into those weeks. A typical CGCC course is 16 weeks. It can be 8 weeks. Instead of weeks, it could be organized in units. Instead of units, it could be organized in goals. It all depends on your course. What do you typically find within a module, a particular unit, whether it's week or unit or goal? Well, you usually find a description of what you're going to do. If you also see this small icon next to it, which looks like a file folder, that means that it contains content. In other words, it gives you a little summary, and here is the actual content. Now you also have navigation, meaning you can go to the next item in a module, whether it's an assignment or more reading, and you can go backwards in a module by using these. This allows you to move. On the far right corner, you'll find a little box that talks about submission status, but we'll talk about that in a second when we go to assignments. So as you can see here, you've got some weeks and you've got README as the first. Some modules only show 1 unit 1 week at a time. It depends on how your instructor organizes your course. If that's the case, then basically you can only do work for that particular week, and then at a certain date the next content is loaded. Some courses, like this one, are basically 16 weeks at a time. Now let's look at assignments. Assignments, you know how to access them from tutorial 1. Basically, you can access it all your courses at one shot from the dashboard. You can click on it directly from the calendar, or you can go to assignments. It's how to submit assignments, that's usually a bit more of a concern. What do? Well, you click on the particular assignment. You see how it works. A particular assignment can have content and it can have attachments, files. So in this example, you have an attachment. When you click on it, it downloads it to Canvas. When you go down and click on that little file name, once it's already loaded down, you can basically see the assignment. Once you see the assignment, you can go about doing it. Now, how do you submit answers to questions? Well, you can cut and paste from your assignment, if it was a handout or from somewhere else, and then you go to the button that says Submit Assignments. Submit Assignments gives you several options, ways of getting your assignment to your instructor. One is File Upload. File Upload basically means you're doing the work outside in some form. Could be a word processor, you could be typing it on your mobile phone or tablet. Any way that you can attach. It could be an Excel spreadsheet, Notepad, whatever it is. Any way that you can attach. If you can create a file, you can attach it and submit it directly through here. How do you do this? Well, File Upload, you choose File, find it in the directory of your computer or your USB drive, select it, and you're done. You can attach multiple files, not just one, and you can enter comments. For example, this is draft 1. You can also use text entry. Text entry means you're going to enter your work or your answer directly into Canvas. It's using it like email. Basically, you enter in your information, you have a little bit of ability to format, or you can cut and paste into it, and then you hit submit, and it gets to your instructor. A bit of a tip. Typically, most instructors want to see the questions with the answers, the problem with the solution. So what I'm doing now, which is just entering the answer, may not be acceptable to all instructors. See your syllabus for detail. Once you've typed it up, what do? Well, if you want to attach other stuff, you can. You find the submit button at the bottom, you click on it, and what options do you get? Well, here you go. You get to a screen that basically says, here is your status for submission. In this case, that you've turned it in. Gives you the date at which it was turned in. Submission details basically allows you to see what you submitted, when you submitted, and all the other values of points and things like that. You can view the original entry, and you can still add comments. So submission details, what kind of comments can you attach? Well, you can attach verbal, you can attach sound, video, text, anything that you want to do. For example, here is a extra credit assignment, or I'm submitting early. So those are the basics. Now let's do a 10-second recap. You should be able to now find how your course organizes information. It could be in modules, which is the most common form. But again, if your Canvas is being used, for example, in a face-to-face course or a hybrid, just to store documents, your instructor might instead use files and pages. But modules, the standard way information content is organized for a course. And that can be by week, that can be by unit, that can be by goal. Assignments. The main thing for submitting assignments is to decide if you want to answer your work outside using a word processor or email and cutting and pasting in, or you want to enter your answer right on Canvas. A tip, always copy what you submit, even if you enter it into the text box, and email it to yourself. Why? If Canvas should crash or if you should lose your internet connection, basically if you've copied it out, you know that you can always resend, even if the processing didn't work. Alright, so that completes Student Tutorial 4. Student Tutorial 5, Discussion Groups, is next.